Hey everybody, a couple of interesting things happening today. We're nearly at Christmas, so we're on vacation from the school, but I wanted to talk to you guys while I can. I'm here back in the studio. Studio is out of commission for a while, so I'm back in it and saying hello to you, my legions of fans. So I had two encounters today, and it really shows you what kind of one of the tags I have, one of the for lack of a better word, a tag I've got on my blog is called reality therapy, and I do a lot of that at work. I do a lot of that at Mount Vernon High School in room 227 where I work, and I've been doing it online this year as well. So I had two encounters today in the Bronx where I live, and it really is reality therapy. It opens up your eyes to see what people are really like. Certain encounters where the mask slips. Now I'm not talking about Corona mask, right? That not this mask. I'm talking about the mask of the facade that people have with regard to what they're really all about. So I'm in the Bronx, so I have the pleasure of being surrounded by liberals, and I mean liberal. You guys know I don't like to just throw stupid terms like that around. Oh, those pesky liberals. Well, I don't really work like that. But white liberal progressives, people who, when it turns into election time, they just vote Democrat. They don't even think. They just vote Democrat. Well, because everybody knows those are the good guys. So, I mean, look at the Bronx County every election. The one I remember checking specifically was the 2012 Barack Obama election, and I think it was 90-10 Democrat to Republican in Bronx County. That's indicative of where I live, in my county, in the Bronx. And so, one of the things that is necessary to discuss is the image of your garden variety Bronx resident, your garden variety New York liberal. Is they're the good people who care about humanity, that they care about the downtrodden, the people who need help. They want people to get the education, the schooling, the medical care, health care, vaccinations, health insurance. People should have these things. And not only should they have these things, some of them they're now saying they should have for free. That it should just be free. Health care is a right. You've heard all the buzzwords. We need universal health care. We need universal basic income. Everybody should have what they need, right? Well, it doesn't take much. And I tell my students, now remember, I don't have any white students. I have only black students. I have some Hispanic students, but I'm in the black neighborhood, and there are so many benefits to that. It's not even funny. I'm gonna have to do a podcast or a blog post on that one of these days. So we had, we've had, I think New York State has a mask mandate. I believe it's supposed to be wear a mask at all times. I looked it up, and it's a little vague, but it basically says wear a mask. Now, I'm not going to wear a mask outside. I'm actually not going to wear a mask at all. I only wear a mask when a vendor who I respect asks to wear a mask, which they're all very good. They want to do business, so the vendors are nice to their customers, or if it entails keeping my job. So I'm not going to get fired because I refuse to wear a cloth mask. Why would I deprive young adults the benefits of my instruction? That just doesn't make any sense, right? Anyone who wants to die on that hill, to use a current popular phrase, it doesn't make sense. You keep your job. You keep your job. You support your family. So I'm in liberal, progressive, Democrat voting Bronx. And remember, like I said about the image of these people, what they want you to think is that they are the ones who care. And it is the free market, conservative, Republican Forget about libertarian people. Those are the evil people. The people who voted for Mitt Romney, who voted for, God forbid, Donald Trump, who voted for George W. Bush. They're the terrible ones. Because the progressive cares. The progressive wants you to be okay. The progressive wants you to get what you need. Remember, educationally, health, insurance, schooling, car, all of this stuff, identification, voting rights, you should just have it. We're going to take care of you. Right now, not so fast. So I walk around outside. I'm not going to wear a mask outside. Forget about being by myself. Older people, I respect their wishes. And my mother taught me well to be respectful. And older people are at an exponentially higher risk for the novel coronavirus. So I give them respect, and at minimum, I give them 6 feet of distance. I'll stop and wait. I'll move to the side. I'm respectful of what they might be worried about, and they deserve younger person's respect, in my opinion. So today, Karen, who lives upstairs from me, opened the door for me as I was coming in and then snapped at me, "You should be wearing a mask, friend. Look, friend, you should be wearing a mask." And I said, "No, I can't wear a mask. I have pre-existing medical condition that doesn't allow me to wear a mask." "What? My husband is COVID positive. You're putting us at risk. You need to wear a mask. See," and she points to the sign on the front door of my apartment building that says masks required. And I said, "Ma'am, I can't wear a mask. My doctor says this is not what I'm to do. Are you better than my doctor? Do you know more than my doctor? I have a pre-existing medical condition." And you know what she said? "Oh, please," and stormed away. Now, this is a theme. You can write it in blood that this woman would go to the wall to see to it that politicians who promise to have people allowed to get medical insurance while they have pre-existing medical conditions, you can just take it to the bank that she is for that. Now, what I mean is, they're like, well, if you have a pre-existing medical condition, it should be illegal for an insurer to not give you medical insurance. And not only that, it needs to be affordable. It needs to be a real price. You can't be denied medical insurance, viable, competitive price medical insurance, if you have a pre-existing condition. You can take it to the bank that this Karen has her entire life voted for that, gone for that. That is sacred. So when I bring up pre-existing medical condition, that gets pushed completely to the side. No, you need to wear a mask anyway, even if your doctor says no. Pre-existing medical conditions, in her mind, in that case, no, it doesn't matter. Do as you're told by the government, by the people who run the co-op, right? This sacred cow of pre-existing conditions where people have to bend to that. Not in this instance, not when it comes to wearing a mask. And I bring up the medical insurance thing, the health insurance thing, intentionally, because the same day, right? So I had to deal with Karen, and I recommend this. I was calm. I was not yelling at her. She held the door for me to help me so I wouldn't have to key in. And I had to walk past her. Right? She shared information that her husband was COVID positive. Now her husband is going to live. He has only a 99.995 chance of survival. So we can all understand why she's so angry and worried about her husband, because, well, I mean, those are odds. That's he's on the edge, right? So, and you know what, real quick, her husband is, I know this guy because when he sees me without mask, he runs the other way. And he doesn't say anything. And in a weird way, I respect that. I think he's misguided. I think that he is overreacting. I don't think he's carefully looked at what's going on. But I'm not angry at him. It turns out, and I'm going to try next time, if I see him, I'm going to move way out of the way. Like, look, man, you're worried. You rang a positive test. I'm not trying to be a jerk. I'm not trying to be pushy. I don't think that's helpful. And so he says nothing. But Karen, his wife, she feels the need to confront me. And then when the pre-existing condition thing came out, it didn't matter. Wear it anyway. What? What if wearing a mask causes serious respiratory illness and there's a problem? But you want me to wear a mask and I'm somehow responsible for your husband's medical care? I'm responsible for seeing to it that your husband is okay. This is the fake white liberal. I warn my students about these people all the time. They are repellent and reprehensible, hypocritical. They're weirdos. You know, if they were fanatical in a religious way, that would be better. I would prefer that quite a bit, actually. So the second one, and is where the health insurance stuff comes up even more heavily, is this older dude. I've now seen him twice. Now, this is Hollywood casting. Send in the 70-year-old, single, gray-haired, white liberal man who reads nothing but the New York Times every day. He's that guy, about 5'6", frail, got the big mask, a big mask on his face, right? He's got the mask to end all masks on his face, and he barked at me once for not wearing a mask. He said the co-op has, our apartment complex has put in a mandate you have to wear a mask. Okay, thank you for telling me. So I saw him again today, and like I always do, I moved to the side to move at least 6 feet out of the way so he could pass. And he said something about, again, not wearing a mask. And I said, excuse me? You're not wearing a mask. You're dangerous. And it's hard to hear him because he's so old and he has a mask. So I said, my doctor says no, pre-existing condition, I can't wear a mask. Shave your beard and put on a mask. And then he said, South Africa strain, even more dangerous and deadly. Now, I don't know what he's talking about. I assume it won't take me very long to find something on the New York Times website or the CNN website on the South Africa strain of coronavirus. Why has it always got to be South Africa? But you know why it has to be South Africa, because Americans were taught, especially his generation, that South Africa was, and they have something of a case, the most evil country in the world because of apartheid. And, apartheid is socially and economically destructive, for sure. So they naturally, the corporate press has the South Africa strain. So this guy stares at me, South Africa strain of coronavirus, even more dangerous. And I basically told him, no, I can't do it. Your doctor, what's the name of your doctor? Now think about that. Medical privacy in progressive liberal New York, it is not even allowed to ask, to inquire. Forget about public inquiry about one's medical condition. Even more serious that you ask about personal physician and pre-existing condition material. What was he going to do? Call my doctor and find out? So I started calling him weak. Then I said, okay, make me wear a mask. And then he got belligerent. So I called him weak. See, he got confrontational. So, all right, someone like that expects someone like me to not be rough. But what this old fool didn't understand was that, look, man, I've been at Mount Vernon High School for 19 years, was at Monroe High School before that in the South Bronx. I'm not going out like that. I'm not having this weak, frail fool push me around. Are you crazy? The stuff that I've had to deal with over the years? So, you know, he sees me and expects me to be weak. He expects me to be shaken by his words. Now, he wasn't going to do anything, and I told him, I said, you make me. Come over here and make me. You're stupid. You're the stupidest kind of person. I said, you're the kind of person that kept somebody like me from getting health insurance all those years with a pre-existing condition. And you know what he said? And this is the part where the mask slips. He said, I'm glad you aren't able to get insurance. So this is the white progressive liberal that I've been telling you about for years. That's a direct quote. I'm glad you aren't able to get health insurance. And then I said, well, I am able to get health insurance, actually. I'm fine, but you're the stupidest person around. You're so stupid. People like you are stupid. And I went back to, well, then make me put on a mask. And I called him weak. I said, it must be terrible to feel so weak and helpless. Now, I wasn't going to go there. That wasn't my intent, to bark at a helpless old dude. But he feels that he can confront somebody like me. That's what you have to understand with these people. The white liberal progressive not only feels that they're being victimized by right-wingers, they feel that they can confront you and tell you how to live your life. That if their newspaper, website, governor, favorite TV station, you name it, if they're saying something and they're following it because they're followers, they're not builders, they don't build anything, they don't create stuff, they don't run businesses, right? They don't do any of these things. They just follow and do as they're told. And if their progressive leaders tell them one thing, they're just going to do it. I mean, these are really not even people. They're the worst of humanity. And I tell my black students, you have to look out for these people because they think you're helpless, stupid, incompetent, and unable to live your own lives. I mean, this guy thought I was that way. And so, and I'll leave you with this. We have a couple of guys, mostly guys, it's not all guys, but mostly guys who deliver to our neighborhood in the Bronx from FedEx and from UPS. And these people work. They hustle. Man, these people are out of control. They are seriously dedicated to their craft. They help our community out by doing deliveries in all kinds of terrible weather in the Bronx. I mean, these people are amazing. I have a lot of respect for them. And we got a couple of guys. We got I talked to him, a Dominican guy. He's a good man, younger, and then there's this other guy, dreads, West Indian guy. They both sometimes will take a smoke break, so they'll pull down their mask in front of the apartment. And how do I know this? Because I'm on the first floor, and so they're standing in front of my daughter's window, my kitchen window as well, smoking a cigarette. I can smell the cigarette in the house. I don't like it, but they pull the mask down and they start smoking. None of the people I've told you about would ever dream of confronting those people. Not in a million years. They would not ever confront the person of color, to use the current term today that I despise, because they're people. We're just people. They won't confront them, but they see me, and this is the lesson to you. They see me and they're like, oh, middle-aged white dude, he's a punk, he's soft, and he's not wearing a mask. I need him to do as he's told. And then when I don't, and I come up with a legit reason, they still get angry. I'm glad you can't get health insurance. Or Karen, oh, please. Pre-existing condition. I want you to think about that. So what they tell you is not real. What they tell you is a fabrication. And they also don't, and I don't bother going into this with them, but I will go into it with you very quickly because this is already too long. The people at the top like this. They like being able to divide and conquer so easily. That's why you're hearing about the mutant strain in South Africa that this guy obviously heard of. I'd heard the same thing with regard to some mutant new strain in Europe or Singapore or whatever it was. I think it was on zerohedge.com. They've realized what it takes to divide and conquer. They've figured it out. So I don't want to play that game. Now, I'm not going to walk around like a dumbass and walk around with a mask on by myself outside. That's just dumb. There's, the science before March of 2020, you don't get to just erase that. And I read and pay attention, so I'm not going to have ignorant clowns try to tell me how to live my life. And I mean clowns, even the ones up in the governor's mansion in Albany or the White House. So they're doing the divide and conquer, and I don't explain it to them. They're not going to get it. They want me to wear a mask because they wear a mask, and they're scared. They have allowed themselves to be led as one would lead cattle to the slaughterhouse. And so this divide and conquer bit, I'm telling you that that's what it is. It is divide and conquer played expertly by our overlords. They're good at it, and they're doing it now, and I had 2 instances of it today in my apartment complex. So keep your ear to the ground for this. That's your lesson of today. The white liberal, hypocrite, power-hungry, oddball, whatever they tell you, and remember, I talk to black teenagers 184 days a year, and then again hundreds of times online. I'm telling them, really. I'm not telling you. You can take it as you wish. This is what I tell them, and I'm right. They are not looking out for you. They think you're nothing. They think you're unable to live your life. And they don't really want you or to be around you. They see you as I don't know, as people who are unable to handle themselves. So we've got the white liberal lesson, white progressive lesson, and the divide and conquer lesson. And if you can remember those 2 things, much of what you see around you, especially in the cities, will be more clear. All right, that's today's lesson. Thank you. There's no homework. I'll talk to you in a couple of days. Take care.